Hi, I'm Helen Jane Rose. I'm a channel, healer, automatic writer and author of a number of books, including The Coming Times. Welcome to the World Affairs Truth Report number 2, following on from last week's messages and guidance. I'll be doing exactly the same, where I write the messages through automatic writing, and then I read them back to you verbatim, just literally, from the paper. I'll be reading them. And then my partner Jed, who's an acupuncturist, an amazing healer and craniosacral therapist, will be joining me to unpack the message each week and to help ground them and to bring some practical advice along with that. And if you'd like a bit more information, we've done a 30-minute conversation, the two of us chatting about the background to how this all came to be. And you can find that on our YouTube channel, The Coming Times Unpacked. And so I would like to read to you the second World Affairs Truth Report. Welcome, beautiful soul. What a week it has been. We ask you to pause and take a moment to reflect. Perhaps it's been an emotional week for you, full of highs and lows, and wondering if the roller coaster is ever going to stop. We tell you that if this is you, then this message is for you. Nothing on the world stage is going to get calmer. In fact, you could say it's going to get more and more chaotic. We say this not to bring fear, but to remind you that the outer is a reflection of your inner. So if you're currently riding the waves of emotional upheaval, know that only you can calm your internal storm. Only you. Yes, the external is triggering these internal reactions, but only you can stop this. But how, you might be asking? By deciding right here, right now, that inner peace is your priority. This week is such an important week to set your intention for the experience of inner peace. It starts with an intention. It's that simple and also that profound. But enlightenment isn't for the faint-hearted. Only those who have ridden the waves and chosen the crest of inner peace can understand and actualize the inner state of enlightenment. This calling is a high one, and every citizen of every country across the globe is being asked to take part. A global uprising in intention towards inner peace is being asked and initiated in this moment. Everyone across the globe is being issued with the same decree. Cast your inner vote. Make your choice. Are you pro inner peace or against it? Every Earth citizen has a choice to make. In the coming times, this will be a very important theme. Are you resisting the call to inner peace or opening to it? The purpose of our reports is to help you open to it. There is purpose behind the messages that we are delivering. Codes of consciousness are being activated. You may ask, why would anyone be anti-inner peace and pro-inner chaos? And we tell you that the current shift towards inner peace is happening, yet too many are unwilling to take the self-responsibility and inner discipline needed for this to happen. We cannot do this for anyone. Only encourage the new way of being, where the call to inner peace becomes louder and louder across the planet, as it will. Let yourself be led to inner peace rather than inner fear and chaos. It's a choice that only you can choose. You don't need to know how. Set your intention and the universal force will assist you to helping to activate inner peace from within you. This isn't something that you have to know how to do. In fact, your mind has absolutely no idea how to reach such a high state of being, which is why we encourage you to really set your intention for this to be so for you, without having any idea how. Let the master inside of you work that out for you. Your job is to start to have the discipline to get as present as possible, to start to activate the flow state from within you. Our job is to start to help to do this for you. There is a master within you, that is you. When we say master, perhaps we are not referring to how you perceive a master to be in your current reality. What we talk of is very different. It is the part of yourself that knows exactly how to free you. Many would claim they are completely free now, but they are not. They are living as slaves to themselves. If you are free, you know for sure that you are in the world, but not of it. The part of you that is elsewhere, if you like, has made an allegiance to you, for you, to understand this for yourself, for you to feel this truth for yourself. If you stay stuck perceiving reality exactly as it's being presented to you, as a fearful place to be, you won't be able to self-realise the master at the heart of you and experience the inner peace that's waiting to engulf you. The aim of this report is to draw you out from woe is me. Many this week will be feeling this way. We encourage you to try and shift out of this way of being, accepting the feelings within you, sending them love, and then not having resistance to them. Allowing them to be there, knowing that whatever is taking place, however uncomfortable it may feel to you, is having a healing effect on you. For any feelings within you that make you feel less than the beautiful, peaceful, happy, abundant soul at the heart of you are coming up to be healed by you. I'm Helen Jane Rose, bringing you these messages from the Divine Council to peace blossoming from within you. If you prefer to read the transcript from today's message, you can find them at thecomingtimes.org. And now I am going to shift over as Jed comes to join me.
Thank you, Helen. Beautifully spoken. Relating beautiful words that we can all find helpful, and especially at this time. So what qualifies me to comment or even have an opinion on these reports that are coming from a much higher level of consciousness than we have access to in our own minds at the moment is purely through observation, simple wisdom. In my one-to-one clinical practice, I have the pleasure and the gift of observing people sharing their stories, their emotions that are at the root cause of any physical or mental discordance in their life, and I see very clearly how the resolution of those emotions leads to a better life for them, a more joyful life and a fulfilling life. And the individual is a reflection of the outside world. So I can clearly see from these truth reports a mirror reflection on a global level that's inside my clinic room. So it's coming from my perspective, my observations. Other people may have different ones, equally qualified, if not more. Practitioners would have their own point of view. So I urge you to have your own point of view, listen to what we've got to say, read the transcripts. I think if you read them over and over, I think you'll find some, coded gifts in there as well as you read it for yourself. So I urge you to have a look there. So I've made some notes about, after reading it multiple times myself, just some commentary on things that stuck out for me that I think are important, that I need to either clarify or stress from maybe a point of view that you haven't considered already. The first one, the world is a stage. I found this interesting because they're suggesting that we're in a theatre, and theatre is referred to quite a lot, especially in the news, like the theatre of war, drama, all of those things. And without sort of belittling or even mocking our reality world, we are in on a stage, in a play, and we're actors fulfilling a role. And yes, we have to take it seriously, but no, we don't have to take it seriously. Take that as you wish. But if we take it too seriously and you get stuck in that victim role or whatever role you're playing in this theatre, it's a very heavy place. I won't use the word dark because it's an unpleasant word, or it's meant to be unpleasant, but it takes us into a difficult place where it's got some difficult connotations, let's say. If you look at it from another perspective, from the world as a stage, I've mentioned this before, I think the Joseph Campbell hero's journey is a really helpful metaphor to use. And it's the journey of departure, so leaving home, going out on your own. So the teenager becomes the young adult, goes out into the world. Let's say gender specific, if you're a boy, you generally go out in the world and cause chaos and have to reap the reward or reap the repercussions of all of those things that come back. But initiation is going out, exploring, finding out who you are, often through difficulties and challenges, sometimes caused by you, sometimes caused by other people. But it's about finding out and exploring who you are, how you react to these situations, and basically growing up and learning that maybe your reactions are inappropriate, or you could do better, or you'd like to do better, or you can see how other people might behave and how you might want to help them, or and how you've responded. And the third part of that journey is the return. So you're coming back. But coming home is home to yourself. So you've gone out into the world, you've departed from home, you've had all these crazy experiences, some of them great, some of them not so great. And then you come home returning that wisdom to self, and you've grown from that perspective. Now, if you accept each and every one of your lives as being based on that up until now, it makes it less difficult, less challenging, and an understanding that there's a bigger picture going on, and that if we were aware of the bigger picture beforehand, we probably wouldn't make so many mistakes and cause so much pain to yourself and others. But we haven't been aware up until now. But now we're being given more information, and we're understanding more about why we're here and what we're here for. And so look at the world as a stage. Know that your role in it. Accept other people's roles rather than accusations or, judges, challenges and of other people's behaviour. Just look at the gifts that come from that and the opportunities to grow from other people's behaviour. That's what I took from paragraph 1. There's a repeat theme from the Truth Report number 1, which was inner peace. They're really driving this home, and it's a fundamental topic for the Divine Council. And they're repeating it here, and they're saying it has to be our priority. Now that's very difficult, for some people who are very, immersed in their stories right now, and some of these stories are heartbreaking and they're really, really difficult. And so how can you find inner peace? And I think, again, referring to this world as a stage, we've got to understand our position within it. And who have we made our masters? I'm of a generation where certainly doctors and the church, or whatever religious leaders, they were our masters. And during my lifetime, that whole situation has been pulled apart. We're now in a process where, pharmaceutical companies, they've been our masters. We've been taking pills to get better, without even questioning what they did or the long-term outcomes. But now we're understanding that maybe there's ulterior motives for selling drugs, which is basically what they are. And I'm not saying that there isn't a need for certainly acute medicine. I think we couldn't survive without it in a lot of cases. But just to take a pill without considering the deeper reasons why you're experiencing physical, mental, emotional symptoms is, it's quite short-sighted, and we need to look a bit further. But the depth of that is you're regaining sovereignty. And that's the journey. It's regaining control. And you'll have time then to find inner peace, because you'll realize that you are in control of your life. You're having more control. The more and more you become aware of this, you take the time, and you'll start to see that reflected in your outside world. And when you do that, you'll realize that you can create peace in your outside world from your inside world. That's how it works. Up until now, we've been, cajoled into creating other people's lives. I mean, the news is not called a program for no reason. It's literally programming your mind. And if you really look back over the history of news, every single country in the world, and you pieced it together, you'll see that they've been creating their reality. I'm talking about the sort of, elite people here, the people that control vast majorities of our wealth. And they program you to create the world that they want, because they know how it works, and they've not shared that knowledge with everybody else. But now, there are cracks in that system. There's an understanding from a much greater, wider portion of society that we create our own reality. But it begins with creating peace. and have no sort of concern about what comes from that. If you create peace, then the path will start to, let's say, bend in your favour. And maybe your idea or desires for reality will change based on an inner peace. But, we've got to try this, and reclaiming sovereignty is paramount. Don't surrender to everyone else's ideas, beliefs or perspectives. Create your own, believe in your own, go out and follow your own path. And they also refer to, the same thing. The external world is a reflection of your inner world. It's exactly how it is. And, if you're really honest with yourself, if you're an angry person, there'll be a lot of anger in your world. Just, take a step back and have a look at it, and, and understand why those people are causing anger. If you're a needy person, your needs will never be met. The world will be a place where your needs are never met. It's coming from inside. So, whatever is showing up in your life that is in discordance, take full responsibility for it. It's coming from you. And I'm not saying anger or frustration is a negative thing, but it has to be appropriate, it has to be balanced. If every day is populated with anger and frustration, there's a problem. If your needs are never met, there's a problem. So it's coming from you, and it's asking you to look at how you feel about yourself, what are the things that you say to yourself. That is not a peaceful place. So take some moments to sit, be quiet, and ask for inner peace. Try and get a sense of what inner peace feels like inside the heart space. They refer to setting intentions as a way of taking control back as well. And these take dedication, they take focus and determination. And that might sound like hard work, but maybe it is, but so what? If the outcome is the desired life, then be more dedicated, be more focused, and stay in your lane. Don't get distracted. Don't get distracted by world news that's, again, trying to steer you in a certain thought process that's creating someone else's reality. Don't watch it. If it's not for you, don't watch it. Watch stuff like this. It's far more interesting. And, the dedication, the focus, the determination, it's helpful, to make a daily practice, and you can use affirmations. And affirmations, they've been proven, research now proves that these things work. And you have to be able to, I think we spoke about this in the first one, it's got to be realistic, you've got to believe it, you've got to feel it. And if you're struggling with affirmations, or you're not sure how to create them, or you don't really understand them, have a look at Helen's book. She's got loads of them in there. She's got lovely meditation practices. There's lots of guidance, and it's a beautiful body of work that can really help you through this process. The next thing that caught my attention was referring to the global uprising, and they highlighted the word up. And I think it was stressing, that there are activists on the planet, and there are souls that have descended here to be activists, to challenge the state. And, hopefully that's not in a violent way, but sometimes that is, unfortunately. But what they're stressing here is that uprising is the up-leveling in consciousness. The rising up to a different level, to a different way of thinking, to a different way of feeling, how you view life, how you view yourself, how you view other people. And, it's a play on words, but read into it, because it's really important. Every day you've got to at least consider raising your vibration. Even if you think you're at the top of your game and you're having the best day, how higher can you go? Expand and believe that you can get higher, wider, more expansive in consciousness in every single moment. There is no limit on that. Always seek to improve. And, other people will follow. They'll look at you and go, oh wow, what you're doing in your life that's kind of got you glowing in that way, and lead by example. And you'll start to gather around you different types of people and different groups, and different opportunities will come in because you're uprising, you're up leveling in consciousness, and that will be reflected back into your daily life. Enlightenment, they in I forget the context that they put it in, but I just thought I would explain from my perspective, because I imagine for some people that's a bit woo-woo, it's a bit triggering, it's a bit hippie. But it just means to hold more light, and it's an extension of what I've just talking about raising your vibration. And so we have a greater, wiser aspect of ourselves. Everyone has a soul. We can't prove it, but everyone kind of knows there's something else about us that's more magical and greater, and we're always seeking to find it. And in order for that soul to emerge more and more into your human experience, you have to improve your light. And so through those expansion practices, that belief in self, we become lighter, and the soul light comes through. And there's the word enlightenment. And my personal belief is the human journey is to attain full enlightenment at some point. I mean, whether that happens in mine or your lifetime is debatable, and won't be known until we have. But what's for sure is that we can, the lighter we are in the way we think and feel about ourselves and relate to others, the more your soul light comes in. It can hold on. It's got something to hold on to, and a reason to want to be here more in this quite heavy, dense world. And if, as a collective human family, we all are able to embody our soul more, then things will change rapidly, beyond belief, to take us to a place that we can't even imagine right now. But do the work every day. Be conscious about your vibration, be conscious of what you're saying to yourself and what you're saying to others. Thoughts, words, actions, and deeds. Package them up in a high vibration, and you'll be doing a great service to yourself and the world. They refer to making choices. Again, this is a sovereign issue. We've become very apathetic, certainly in relation to our political masters, or people we've put on that pedestal, which is, falling apart bit by bit. I don't know of one politician at the moment, and I hope someone challenges me on this, but I don't know of one that's not self-serving, and it's paramount that some new blood comes to the fore with new ideas and new ways of living in community, in the wider community of the human family. But the to's and fro's of politics, you can't separate parties at the moment. They're now proving they're all singing from the same song sheet of control, but we've allowed them to do it. And now the idea is that, I don't believe in politicians, they're all a waste of time, there's no point voting. Well, that's a massive statement. And if you don't vote and you become apathetic, they've won. There's a reason why they were playing left and right, red and blue, and and opposing parties, and then all of a sudden they come together. It's to confuse you and to knock you off your sovereign pedestal. Now go to the polling stations and put a line through it. Even if you don't agree with anyone, you're making a statement. I don't agree with you, but I agree with myself. I've got better ideas than you. I could run this place better than you, and if I choose to, I will. Apathy results in withering on the vine, and if we do that, then the game's over. And so, but it's not over yet. It's clear to see that these people aren't fit for purpose that are running countries at the moment, running the world, and even non-elected officials. But we can start by creating ourselves, creating inner peace, working with your local communities, doing things for the greater good, choosing a better way of life. And if we do that en masse, then those systems will just fall apart within a very short period of time. Have no doubt in that. Have no doubt in your role in that process. Have no doubt in yourself. And things will happen very, very quickly. The energy astrologically is here to support that energy. It's not here to support control. It's not here to support dominance. It's here to support the collective. So trust in it and go with it. Also, another kind of woo-woo mention in the report were referring to codes of consciousness. And again, I imagine some people will be like thinking that's just not for them. It's for people in the spiritual world, and understandable. But I mean, I have quite a science mind as well, and I like to know things. And my understanding of that, and to demystify it, is that we have, well, this is proven, you know, if you speak to anyone who, a genealogist, they'll tell you that, you know, there's seemingly uncountable codes hidden in our DNA that are not used. And even with codes that are active, some people use them and some people don't. And I think the keys to life, of a much greater human life, are embedded in our DNA. It's not like we've got to go to a far distant planet to pick them up. We've already got it. It's already in us. We have innate wisdom inside of us. We have the ability to heal every disease on the planet. It's just that it's hidden at this moment in time. And I think these activations that come through, they unlock some of these codes. It's a science process. And I heard a scientist talk recently about what happens when you practice gratitude prayer. So you've got the DNA double helix that's wound up, and when you practice gratitude, it unwinds, and when you unwind, those codes are more available. There's more flat surface, and so you're more available to receive, more available to give. And so those high vibrational attributes, so gratitude and, you know, thanking and praying for other people and positive vibrations, positive wishes, they literally unlock your DNA. And so that's another, and I don't think, you know, meditation or prayers don't do anything. They do. They can be scientifically proved. Again, they've repeated it in the message, the self-responsibility for choosing inner peace. This is, again, is voting. You know, it's which way do you want to choose? It's as simple as that. Do you want to choose victimhood, or do you want to choose, I create my reality, therefore I'm going to choose peace? I'm going to choose inner peace first because I'm in control of me, and then that will show up in my outside world, my external reality. And the Divine Council is stressing the point right now that this is a critical moment for choosing that. They've not expressed why, but I think that will, one, become obvious in the world stage, and two, through the messages to come, there'll be more information relating to that. But don't wait for them, start now. You know, your day can change tomorrow if you choose inner peace. They also stress that they're not here to do that for us. We as a human soul family, came here to choose to not know where we came from, to not know who we really are, to not know about our other lives, in order that we could make the right choices. And so we live in an experience of free will and choice at this moment in time. And so they're not allowed to interfere with our choices but they leave plenty of breadcrumbs and trails like this message, like other messages and like opportunities that come into your life, for you to make the right choice, to choose love over fear and to choose peace over chaos as an addition to that. So I urge you, to really think about your thoughts, words, deeds and actions. Thoughts to self being the primary one. It's hidden from the outside world, but it's not hidden from you, and it dictates your emotional state. So start there. No one knows what you're doing. You can use these affirmations again, like I mentioned before, and just take care of your own house first. They also in the message refer to the term master, and they say not in the way that you might understand it. And yeah, I spoke earlier about the different masters in our lives, doctors, politicians, deities of the church, whatever. They're not referring to that kind of master. They're referring to the master within. And every single one of us, this is my perspective on it, but and choose your own, but every single one of us has gifts, qualities and attributes, some of which we don't know about. But we're already the master of those things. It's innate in our DNA. We just haven't chosen to express them or chosen to choose them. And I think that's what they're referring to here, is don't doubt yourself in any way, shape or form. To ask for the master within. And it will be revealed. Dedicate yourself to it. Focus on it. Choose it. And it will generally be something that you already know and love, but just haven't explored it to the depth that is available to you. But it's an interesting thing to look at, to ponder. What am I the master of? And they stress also that if you're stuck in the reality of victimhood and a belief in the world's against you and you've got no hope and you can't do anything because everyone's a bad person and you might as well just stay at home and watch Netflix, then you're not available to the master within, because like I said before, with the DNA, you're winding up the DNA, so you're closing down opportunities, you're closing down to the possibility that new opportunities can come into your life, to the magic of life. And so understand yourself as being in a play, and don't get played, be a player, and take the controls, be the master of the game, and understand the game for what it is, understand the rules, and understand how you can create the opportunities to get to the next level. They finished with woe is me, or woe is not me. Shift from woe is me to I am. I am a creator. I am sovereign. I'm a master of my domain. I'm a master of my reality. And when that happens, when the sort of message goes to the deepest aspects of self, you have to be aware that things come up to be healed, and we generally don't like that, and this is a trauma response, and that's nothing to be scared of or frightened of. And the word trauma has been, in my mind, overused in many different ways, but it's a word that we use. But just the felt sense, the emotional self, responses to situations, responses to people, that trigger us or upset us in some way, we push it away. Even through therapy, we can do that. We can try and spiritually bypass it, or blame other people, or your parents caused this, so it's not your fault. And it's just another way of not accepting yourself. Any discordant emotions, any difficulty, any uncomfortableness, you should just be able to be with it. It's part of your life. It's who you it's your life experience, so why would you deny it? If you saw a child in pain, in difficulty of some sort, you wouldn't push it away and say, just don't worry about it and ignore it. Well, maybe you would, but that wouldn't be helpful. But, you know, a more helpful response would be to ask the child what it needed and how can you help it. And that's what you need to be doing to your trauma response. Sit with the uncomfortableness. It doesn't last long. If you want to, you know, sit with your anger, allow it. Don't take it out on other people and don't indulge it, but just sit with it for a minute. Allow it to come up, allow the emotion to move and pass. Emotion is energy in motion. It needs to be able to be acknowledged and move. And so when, again, this creates more opportunity for accessing that mastery within, because all the time you're holding that tension energy, keeping the trauma energy away, your body and mind are busy and it's not available for healing and it's not available for anything new to come in. So sit with your uncomfortableness. It's absolutely fine. It's not going to kill you. It never will. It never has. And just be okay with it and be okay with you. I think that's all I have to say today.
Oh, I think that was wonderful. Thank you. That was a really, really great analysis of all the messages and actually bringing it into a place where it's much easier to understand it and to assimilate it and to make it sort of personal to like everyone's own experience. So,
yeah, well, thank you. I reiterate it. It is personal to my experience. So hopefully you'll find it helpful. If you don't, maybe it's going to encourage you to find your own experience and your own, and that's absolutely fine too. In fact, that's probably even more important. So
yeah, because like the purpose of all of our work is to help empower everyone to realise that ultimately we have everything within ourselves. We really do, and it's just starting to trust ourselves because we've been taught not to trust ourselves, and it's to come back to that place within ourselves, isn't it?
Yeah. Start believing in who we are, you know, and we'll make great changes very quickly.
Yeah.
So with that, we say thank you for listening, and we look forward to seeing you next time.
Yeah, next week.
Yes.
Same time.
Same time, same place.
Bye
Bye for now.
Bye.